All right, let's get right to it, everybody. How are you doing on this Bitcoin Tuesday? What's going on, chat? Uh, Quite an interesting few days. This is really right on par with what we have been talking about for a while. So let's get right into it. Everyone, welcome. What's going on? Get into Harmonic Trader as a basic member. So if you like what we're doing here, hit the like, subscribe, become a basic member, go to the basic members page. So software we're going to work on for Bitcoin and crypto is here. Go to TradingView and send your username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Okay? The other thing, gold members, we're going to have the other option, the new option seminar on Thursday. So we will be there. If you have any questions, you want to get in on that, just contact me on the Discord. Okay. Let's get right to it. The obvious. BTC. Pretty amazing, huh? Let's just take a gander at the beautifulness that is. Absolutely amazing, right? What's going on, chat? Just take a gander. Everyone, take a deep breath and look at that chart. Seems like it was more difficult to get here than it actually was. And I don't think anything has really changed from what we have talked about all along, that the 32K retest and then acceleration above 32K, and that's with 37.8, the longer term objective. But right there, I think the thing to note is that your pattern to pattern, back to back kind of framework that has been transpiring all summer long, which seems, it seemed kind of crazy. But you go from shark to bat pattern, looks like it's going to completely crash through 25K. But what's it do? It gives us a bat. It gave us a beautiful T2 bat where I even a couple weeks ago I was like, all right, I guess we'll go for, if it's T2, we go to target 2 up at 29,600, 29,200, sorry. And here we are, blasting through to 35,000. That is absolutely amazing. Really, I'm impressed with how this has transpired. So let's just kind of take a breath. Also, let's dial it back for a second, just so everyone knows from the harmonic pattern framework of what we're looking at and what we've been talking about. Even start with the longer term basis is, simple fact is that we were oversold with an HSI, and then we were anticipating this yellow dot, and that's where acceleration should occur, is supposed to occur. That's exactly the acceleration we were talking about last week and last couple of weeks. So it's fairly ideal within this whole framework. And then, of course, you dial it back like this, not only all those patterns, but the bigger patterns that we've always talked about, which is, depending on your data feed, it's 37.8, 38.7. It is 37 to 39,000, we can say, but target one there on the Coinbase feed at least is 38,761, and that's your target. That's it. That's where we're going. We're going to complete this rather long, extended reaction for Bitcoin, and we'll get up there and we'll see what happens. I've been posting a bit more on Twitter, especially with some of the recent things and updates on QQQ, SPY, Bitcoin, Ripple. A lot of things definitely happening now. Really, every day, this next couple of days, we have to do things. I'll get to the Qs and SPY in a minute because they are in a spot. Like, if we don't start doing something off of these levels, We have to kind of be ready for that. It's really getting to one of two scenarios. At least for crypto, for Bitcoin itself, the harmonic factor is still at play. I mean, this thing completely rolled over, went from 65,000 down to 15,000, playing for dead. But no, we're still printing patterns. Harmonics are still in play. I don't think that's ever going to change. So 38,761, and just so I trace it out, I one of the posts I put up yesterday, I said, all right, what's the general thought? Like, if we're looking for this to be a bigger move, okay, essentially what you're looking for is, kind of, as I like to say, saucer separation off of the long-term trend. Okay, where you make that move, you do some kind of acceleration move. It's a new character within this longer term trend. And there's a lot there. I mean, it's just a lot of things happening at this moment, but you want to see that thing continue to build, go into a week over week climb. You can have individual weeks that will pause, but in essence, you really want to be holding every weekly low from here and do that climb as you build out. Now, if this is going to be some kind of major news cycle, and I've said this before, and you're a long way from it, but it's generally like this. The way to think about it, in the same way as last time, is that where can you type out the W formation? What's going on with my mouse today? And the long-term thinking for BTC, folks. Let's just think harmonic minimums. Eventually, BTC, this will become a 1618 advance. Is it from here? I don't think so. I think we've got a little work. We got to get to that 38, 39, even 40 level. But, this is a general framework, way to think about it, that you're building and building over the next, I'd say, year. Certainly give it even a little more time, like 18 months. Generally, that's how you make the climb. I don't even want to say that number, but I will. A 1618 general advance is about 102,000. So don't think that's going to happen tomorrow or next week. And this is a big first thrust breakout. Expect pullback, check back, consolidation. It's great, real great progress. I mean, there's a lot of things that are constructive. I don't want to say good or bad. I just want to say bullishly constructive, so that we're really clear about the character. HSI, yellow dot. One other thing about Bitcoin that I think is something for what we do. Okay, so the harmonic measures. That's why everyone's here. That's why you folks are, listen to what I have to say, the ideas, the way we frame this out. But remember what I was saying about the weekly HSI. Okay, and you have to go back on history, but the weekly HSI signals, especially the bullish signals, continue to be excellent continuation, long-term continuation markers. Let me do it like this. So HSI, harmonic strength index, if you don't know, is our harmonic indicator. Let's take out the downs. Right, just let's hide the down arrows, and let's hide the dots. So we're just looking for bullish signals, okay? If you're waiting for Bitcoin to do pullbacks and places to enter, you go through its history, and you probably could even do better by going on the full index. But I did the review. I'll have to go back and look again at what the exact numbers are, but it's something like 18 signals, and the only one that really failed out of I think there was 12 dots. I think it's on the index too, but the only real failure was 2022. So here we have one that marks the bottom. This is an important continuation. Just so you know, as a marker that sets the support, think of it like that. So 25, 27,000 here. Next anchor point within this long-term uptrend. Pretty interesting stuff. What's not interesting is what I see in the Qs, frankly, and the SPY. I'm going to get to that in a second. Just because crypto is doing something today doesn't mean that anything's really materialized. What the heck? Anyway, thank you. Let's dial it back. Hold on. Okay, great. So great stuff on BTC. Huge breakout candle. I really don't care if you were looking at any market. If you were assessing that as, I mean, that could be JP Morgan, that could be a tech stock, that could be a commodity. At a minimum, really positive structure. And the other thing with this weekly kind of formation, you're starting to get some kind of W formation. It's really not, that's not the best B point because it's like a 30%, but you're starting to make that condition of higher lows, some kind of B point here. Let's see how that shapes up. But again, it's not, it is continuing what it should be doing. It's absolutely doing it where it needs to do. Here was the oversold readings from a couple weeks ago. So within your long-term uptrend, you got to be liking that. What do you guys think? What's up, Evan? What's going on, Barney? Storm's over. Miss Stephanie, EJ. What's up, Hawk? Everyone else, what's going on? Great to see you. It really is a critical time after this whole kind of nightmare of the last 18 months or more since Bitcoin topped. And then, like I said, all of this stuff down here. Let's get into just a top 5 review. All right, because a lot of it, like our next one, XRP. So check it out. You guys said, I started a position a month or so ago, and I've been kind of quiet. That's the other thing is that, listen, I've been quiet on Twitter, relatively speaking, last 6 months up until about a few weeks ago. I haven't tweeted much about crypto until recently because of all of the development that we have seen. And I said, listen, XRP is probably more a story of about 47 to 50 cents. This 35 to 40 cent area is probably done. And we see that climb. So I'm really focused on that. And then the daily chart to see this not only hold the 3-month support around 49. Okay, obviously 50 cents becoming a rising floor here. You really don't see that get retraced even or violated. I mean, this is really the point where you start to make the move back at least to 90 cents. Your target ones here, if not more like above a buck 20. The thing about XRP, and I looked at it in detail. Software was kicking this out as a bat pattern on a lot of instances. And then I came up with some charts also where it was, initially it was kind of a Gartley structure. So we have to make that assessment of really where that true XA level is. Because here's the bat on the KuCoin feed. It is there's kind of a type 1, type 2 here, that 31, 35 cents. that could be marking, at least from a harmonic point of view, that final retest. Has to do the first test, second test, dance. And then once it does and resolves that level, that sets it going forward where then you stair step up. So target 2 at 132 is kind of the objective to be aiming for once we get above the obvious levels 60, 70, 90. So I'm okay with that here, and any potential reentry point, I think you just got to be patient with it on an hourly chart, 4-hour chart. Look at stuff like this. That was the 4-hour chart most recently where we had a crab pattern. I suspect you're going to have to resolve this 55, 58 cent range before you break out and really take it out. Might even want to just kind of dial it back, shorter term time frame, and just wait for a smaller retracement pattern. You're a little late to kind of jump on it. That's example of, here you go. I mean, this was what, 3 days ago. That's the kind of thing I would look for, a bat or Gartley or something within the uptrend like this. You make a big surge, you consolidate, you go sideways for 30, 60 bars, and you give another pattern, stair step it. So I think it's, this stuff will kind of unfold in slow motion as you build up to that level. But I'm thinking, good first steps there. That's 2. So let's 3. Let's do the big ones, obvious. So Ethereum, remarkable. And Ethereum, I've been saying the whole time, no patterns here, just oversold triggers. Oh, what was that shark on the Binance feed? We did HSI. I don't know. How did I miss that shark? Did I miss that shark? That was on the Binance. That's Coinbase. Regardless, we've been talking about this simple yellow dot as an important inflection of that being oversold. So whatever, even if it was the shark on the Binance feed, so be it. I said shark. Where'd you go? Come on back. Binance, there it is. It's still only a type 1, so maybe you come back to 1672 for the type 2. And that would be something. That would be the first daily pattern we've seen in a long time. Couple more. Yeah, the Qs are falling, Ivan. I hear it. Qs are only now up $1.20. That's a problem. It is a problem. Next one, Cardano. These are the patterns. Just a lot of patterns here. Cardano was a 2 of 2. Another one started recently around 25. And it's excuse me, that's not that one. It's this one. Where's my crab pattern? This one, there you go. So Binance feed. And this is the thought on Cardano. And again, type 2 crab. There was the T1 initially up to T1 $sign, bang. There's T2. We know the confirmation was delayed around 24 cents. Now, since that is a type 2, look, 46.5 cents should be eventually what we get to. I mean, this stuff is taking a while, but if that's the location of the T2, just going through a couple of tests, we should be making our way up there. And I'm talking like 90 days, 6-month kind of a thing. I'm not talking next week or next month. At least a 90-day time horizon. Okay. Couple more. We have to take a look at, sorry, where'd it go? Stuff like Matic, okay? And because I think these are ones we've discussed, doing an impressive blast right off of pattern points at 52, 53. And still, that's like a first move, first breakout kind of a thing on Coinbase. So, it's you're not too late, but you've got, this is the example of patterns looking left. So we get into next year, these are the kind of patterns you want to be positioning off of going into next year. That one, the other one was Fetch AI. There you go. It was up to what, 29, I think. From 17, it was a Gartley. I think it was a couple things. And there's something big here on the weekly, I think, as well. Yeah. Yeah, so this is an interesting character itself. I've been looking at this for a long time. Maybe this is the first sign of life, but folks, that is a type 2. I mean, I can't believe it fell. I have to see why that didn't register, because this did hit target 1, and that exactly is a type 2 at 17 and a half. Really kind of going through those. So if so, this is a target 2 candidate, which is around 82 cents. It's going to take a while, and you have to hold these lows. But this is what I'm talking about when we want to move forward into the next year, having positions like that, T2s at our back, and then you've got the chance to not only go to target 2, but the thought being is that you not only get past target 1, but look, you get the T2 or blow through. Definitely setting up. I mean, that's really nice constructive basing, higher pattern of higher highs, higher lows off of that support. One or two more. Impressive. Really impressive. Where'd you go? Bitcoin's back up above 34,000. So here is Bitcoin Cash, which is, to me, if I take away all the patterns, okay, and I'm just looking at long-term basing behavior, big breakout retest. Listen, I'm looking at this crypto as a potential for saying, okay, money is clearly moving back into the space. And also, we knew there's a Gartley up here. I mean, there's a big pattern up here that Bitcoin Cash remains a real indicator for the larger market. That's a type 2 Gartley, okay? It hit the hop this morning exactly at 267.28. Exactly, and rejected 15 bucks. All right, so technically that should be it on the T2. Oh, wait, we roll over here, then that'll say a whole bunch about what's going on, in my opinion. All right, that's the 267 and what happened today, this morning, real make or break. And it's perfect type 2 off of that Gartley. So eyes on that as along the lines of, what really can develop here. The same can be said for something I think has been impressive, which is Link. Where'd you go? Get back here. There you go. So Link did this big move off of a long base. Yeah, had a nice, there's a bat pattern right there at $6. Couple of patterns down here at $6, and it finally busted. We've seen a number of these. This is like Compound. This is like Zcash, a few others. And what it's saying is that $6 is trying to be a big floor. Now got up to 10 and change. I'm not saying jump it. I'm saying eyes on that. I'm gonna let that come back down. It'll probably consolidate here for a little while. Could come back to 8 or 9, but draw, go out, zoom out, and you look at that kind of a chart. You look at the weekly chart. That's an impressive bottoming formation, huge 3-bar breakout, base breakout, all of that. Yep. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get over the Qs in a second because they're about to go negative. Yes, INJ. I think I mentioned that last time. Who said that? Hugo. What's up, Hugo? INJ is also another one of these where you want to watch it because of the breakout chart pattern formation. That this is just technical magic, quite frankly. I'm really impressed with. This is one of the few where rising trend line just smash the wedge, or bring down your trend line like this. Squeeze the wedge, keep going. From a harmonic pattern perspective, you're just connect the dots, quite frankly, off of something like this. This is called, I think, injunctive. What is that called? I have no idea. Something like this, kind of an ABCD to the 618, up at around $16. But that's a big move. Almost it did double, 6 to 12. That's a good one. The other one is, sorry, I think it was Ocean. Looks like these AI stocks want to pop a little bit, or crypto. Ocean, or was it? No, it's not Ocean. Although that looks pretty good. I think it was this Opti. Yeah, it was this thing. There you go. Another one. This is really popping hard, but again, a kind of a sleeper pattern. Still only a type 1, and that's at 12 cents. 6 to 12, another double inside of 10 days. Not bad. But you're printing these. And let me go through a few of the other ones that have these kind of patterns looking left that I think you need to pay attention to. Stellar Lumens. I've mentioned this before, and we were in that before the big pop, and now check it out. Gartley printing again at 10 cents. That's on the daily, and that's retesting some of these larger numbers down here. So be aware of that. That will run in sympathy to XRP for sure. Injective. Thanks, Jax. Injective. I think this is another one where it's going to be a sleeper, but you got patterns. You got really nice patterns looking left here. Extension pattern, retracement pattern. Maybe you make a 1 and then a 2 and then go. But these have done the work. Oh, nice little crab. Yeah, even that. It could, type 1 crab gets rejected. Go back, retest the crab for the type 2. 18 cents, 20 cents. A lot of these are in position in a really nice way. A couple more. Couple more. You know what? Let's transition over to the stocks by looking at things like MicroStrategy. And I was talking about MicroStrategy last week, and I'm joking on MicroStrategy, but MicroStrategy, excuse me. and that's up about 80 points since we started talking about it last week. I was calling it Michael's strategy, but here you go. 423 at the moment, but here all the breakout, we talked about that, and we broke it down on a daily last week. You had this dot right down there beginning of October at around 320, and now impressive, really impressive. So I'm going to watch that. The obvious breakout point I think is more like 430, 450, but you're going to make your way there. Maybe not at one shot, but hey, go to the weekly here. We really could be starting yet another spike cycle that I think is, we've seen this stock do it numerous times. Goes from 100 to 1,000 or a couple thousand even. In this case, we're down here, went to 150. Some obvious resistance levels that you could try to come back against. Another, like an ABCD, something like this, do an ABCD move up to the 618, something like that. So I think that's in a really nice position. It did the initial breakout back in June. It's just a check back and now start to march. Couple more of the miners and crypto related stocks. Listen, Bit Digital. I think this thing is just taking its time, but big pattern and big HSI there and here. A lot of things in this dollar to $2.50 range, trying to put in support, but it's a huge pattern looking left. Same can be said for Riot and Mara. So, today, big pop recovery day. But we have the patterns. We had an initial thrust that happened for 6 months of the year, came back for the retest, and then this is something we have talked about. The whole fact that we got an oversold trigger a month or so ago. So this is good progress. What you want to see, if you're really going to get a blast out of this zone, we have to close above a 3-bar, 3-week range, and that's really 1120 or higher. All right, one or two more. Here's Mara. Notice how these are all long-term charts too. So relatively speaking, you're early. This is like another first thrust kind of a move. I think Mara's on a daily. Yeah. Oh, look, there you go. Mara with the bat pattern. I know we talked about that last week. Right there at 750, now 970. Dot everything. It was a sloppy bat pattern, but that's it. Even off of this thing, we should get us back to 1393. All right, that's playing the crypto bounce here. That's the thought. All right, let's jump to the Qs. 355. You know what? So let's get into the Qs and SPY. Here's the issue. 4-hour chart, everybody. It's so important that we make some kind of low inside of this 4-hour type 2 bat pattern. It's there. It's there and it's there. That there's no room for error. Like a close under 351, then we've got real problems. So just know, for starters, this is definitely on a razor's edge. Another October here. Good thing about it is you are coming out of some oversold levels. There's amplified. Okay. HSI did it. No check back, but I need to see that get above 50 as well on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, there's no screwing around here. And we're talking, you could start your 30-bar count there. All right, 34-hour bars. On the hourly, it's probably even closer to really resolving it, showing us what it's going to do. Because we know what the number is. The only number on Qs underneath this level, if you print 349 and change, or you print, in my opinion, you print like 350.99, you might as well book 336. 336 is, we've got a few patterns. We know that story. Everyone, if you don't know the story, just go back and take a look back in June or July at some of the bigger patterns as they were completing that we discussed, because it looked like this. Come on. There you go. Had to switch it up. It is a crab pattern. That's what we're dealing with. Ever since 383, we have been held up here because we had a reaction. That was it. That was enough to get us oversold. Structurally, though, it's not the end of the type 2. Last week could have been really bad had we closed below that 3-week low. I would say we'd already be on our way. So this is definitely close. This has to be only a reaction, and you hold 353. Otherwise, you're going to take more time. You're going to go to 336 and complete that type 1 reaction, or worse. And that's how close this whole thing is. I'm watching the daily, weekly action. The other condition that will happen is if we don't put in a strong rally in the next day or two to get this week where we need to be, and we start to roll over again on HSI on the weekly, then we're going to still be down. And I think that's tech, that's Qs. I'll get to SPY in a second, but we keep doing this stuff here intraday on a 5-minute. Here's a bat pattern. You're already coming back for the type 2 on the bat. And what was here? I know there was something else there. Maybe it was the hourly. Yeah, here's the thing on the hourly. This happened this morning. Oh, I know what the problem is. Sorry. I turned this off a while ago. Let me change. We need some bearish dots. We need to see the bearish HSI. Thank you. Sorry, bearish. All right, so we printed some HSI dots this morning on the hourly, actually just coming in, just as we started today at 12 noon. This just printed a dot, so we're down, folks. I don't like to see that in a bullish zone. That is your real typical counter trend HSI line in our face. So even a little check back, here we are filling the gap on 355.60, retest that. But longer term, if this was supposed to be an explosive daily area at a minimum, we're getting into a dud formation, quite frankly. 16 bars in, 30 bars puts you basically to Thursday. So that Thursday, if we're not progressing, or before then, just know that's a big warning sign. You do not want to be screwing around with this thing, because it will have to do more work. It will have to do more work. Will it be the larger kind of breakdown all the way to 336? Likely. and then we would probably have to reset with another confirmation. So you're looking for that to be a bullish reaction. I don't think so. I really thought we would start back up. If that was a reaction, then we would hold this range and we would start back up for the retest. So it's a lot closer to the failure point. Let's like I said, let's call it 350.99. You close underneath there, send me a note. Set your alarm, because that will be make or break for the whole deal. And then what you'll see is that they're just going to keep giving back what happened the first 6 months of the year. And I tell you, I was really thinking we'd do something like this, and then we would see on the retest if this is a real issue on the deep crab, because that would be a 1 and then a 2. But the fact that this thing can't get out of its way, all right, eyes on it. We see this in stocks such as obviously Apple, which is, it has, hasn't done much. It has some things here, but a couple thoughts. Some daily levels that never triggered, shark pattern. We hit off of the deep crab, which marked the top here, 167.62 was hit. Okay, but no confirmation, no bullish confirmation after that was it. In fact, we registered a bearish reading, so we're gonna consolidate here. The hop level off that shark is right where we are right now, about 172, 171. Okay, where's the confirmation? You're deeply oversold. That would need to come out of the zone. And at least, you're early, but amplified RSI is hitting oversold right now. Well, they got earnings coming up. Earnings next week. Earnings are, next Thursday. I think we'll know. I think we'll get other signs, especially like Microsoft's today. Let's take a look at them. But, looking for Apple, retest that 170, 167 area. Microsoft on the daily, look, we have confirmation off of, and finally, and what I'm thinking is, careful on this, because maybe it's a couple of things, really. We have a hop level of a bat. It's also a weekly crab. I mean, we know that there are a lot of patterns that were printed up here. Another one where, okay, we have some oversold triggers, but it's not responding. We really should be making progress. If we're going to go back and retest the zone one more time, we should be following through. So think of it this way. Narrow the range and include this week for Microsoft, and you're under your 3-bar range. So under 320 is breakdown, and we do play for the 290, certainly under 300. If you can push and get above that 334, okay, then we deal with something higher. I'm just not liking this stuff last several days on Microsoft. And earnings they're tonight. So be mindful of that. We're really close here. You got the Qs basically flat on the day. Hey, Mateo, what's going on? What's the yellow dot? Does a wick or a candle body need to check back? Look, the yellow dot is really, it is the structural kind of confirmation. The arrow is HSI, and it's related to this indicator, Harmonic Strength Index. It's designed to dictate the immediate extremes, because markets move from one extreme to the next. It's dictated by price, But here we went from oversold, overbought. So that's the first sign. It's an early reading. And what the yellow dot is when price action retests and then prints a couple of bars in your favor. My suggestion is you get the trial for the software. Okay. And go to harmonictrader.com. Go to that page, basic member page. Anything you want to learn about the dot or anything like that is in the videos. So check out all of that information, but get the software and just work with it and go through. This is why I'm hyper focused on Microsoft, Apple, but Microsoft here, okay, could literally just be an extended consolidation. I don't like the fact you're overbought already. And then weekly time frame, trying to make this just a reaction, but not following through. I definitely want to follow all of this because Microsoft is, for now, really trying to hold like this 50 line, and this is weekly readings. So again, another razor's edge here. There's RSI. You bounced off your 50 level. You have to hold that. I mean, there's just a couple of things here that are, they have to continue higher, and I mean in through earnings. Now, couple more. I'm going for a little while now, and I do want to wrap up and get on with the rest of the day. Meta holding really firm lately, and we have this HSI reading, but can't get above 302. So I really think that it's kind of there's no pattern here. Okay, there's nothing bullish to grab onto. What's the earnings are tomorrow? All right, just let it do its thing. I think a breakout, let's say it's super bullish and you get the breakout, like you clear these highs, this will continue its run. And that's, for me, that's what I want to see here. Time's up on all of this stuff, where if this is trend continuation behavior, yeah, we should get a breakout above that. 350, 360, something like that. Yeah, check out the HSI videos. There's a specific HSI dot video in that library, so take that out. Check that out. Hey, what's up, Santosh? Can we use harmonics on 5-minute time frame? Of course. Absolutely. Any time frame, you got to choose, if it's day trading, swing trading, that's what really sets it. NVIDIA, yeah. So NVIDIA, folks, everybody is looking at this on NVIDIA. Not the patterns. Although we just had another retest of 410, but this is what everyone's looking at. Big head and shoulders. Like that. Everyone's afraid that's topped out and you're going to break down. Either way, even if it does that breakdown is going to be nasty if it goes that way. So plenty of time. You're seeing a couple reactions, 410 to 450. Yeah, that's been about it. But then you go to your weekly. All right. We are at the 1618. So again, earnings have to be super bullish, not just bullish. They have to be super bullish for this thing to essentially bust out of this 1618 consolidation, because that's what it is. NVIDIA just stalled at that 485. It's a big 1618. Does it come back to a 382? Because that would be a natural breakdown point, 343. So you have to be patient with NVIDIA. It's really in between, and it's, the last 4 or 5 months, That massive head and shoulders, I'm not a fan of that, even with that green candle. Yeah, that last gap did retest, but absolutely, it breaks on that daily. Kiss it goodbye. I mean, you're really, it's, look, if it was super strong, that would be breaking, trending to new highs already off of the type 2. That's how I think about it. A couple more. Here's something interesting, and we've talked about Netflix. And Netflix did back to back. I mean, it was amazing. 347 was target 2 off of that first reaction. I do think we're coming back as high as that 437 to retest it, and you get a type 2 on the crab. So that's why Netflix still doing what it's doing. But doesn't mean it's, going to continue. I would think we're really close to getting overbought. But that's why Netflix is doing what it's doing. I wish more patterns were setting up like this back to back. After a bearish, you get a bullish to set it and go. But we'll have to see. One or two more. So the semis are in a pretty interesting position. Where is Taiwan semi, folks? This one, it's a weekly type 2. It's tough to see it, but look, there it is. It's off the deep crab, and that's like 85 bucks. This has to continue higher, or we're going to come back and retest everything. So, watch 84. We did have HSI. We have no dot, but it's a weekly. And so you could give that, and you really should give that as much as 30 weeks, 6 months to get up to target 2. That one, the other one, there's another 3 ideas from my folks. Look, AMD. Where is the daily? Here's your daily. So, a couple of patterns here off the top, a shark, but not a lot of confirmation. I'm looking at this around $95, $97. I need to see some kind of confirmation though. So be aware of that. Doesn't look like that's ready to run anytime soon, but we're getting close on being oversold on HSI. I'm trying to pull those two elements together. Structural test, maybe as low as 95 with that to turn around. It's close. I mean, look, you got patterns here. You're coming in to retest. I mean, even stuff like, look, here's Amazon. Daily. Still waiting for 119.87. Had that hit, like Netflix kind of a thing, hit its bearish target and then bounce back, it's not there yet. A few of those are still trying to do trying to set up there. Quickly, who put Coke? Boro. What's up, Boro? Coca-Cola is, I think, a great one to look at and monitor because of the weekly. And, it's a staple. It's a perceived safe stock. But we need to hold this 52 range. I saw this positive thing. At least positive response to earnings. We do have an HSI where 55 to 52 still long-term support. I'm long. Okay, are we going to get the big move? Because it is a type 2 and it would eventually get you to target 2. But like these other ones, this is more swing position, 30-week. Think about it in the next 6 months kind of a thing. But it's a really nice pattern. Really nice. I like that one, and I'm going to throw up one or two more and then get out of here. Target. Okay. Big daily and weekly structures here. We have a yellow dot. Target really at 110, and I just started this. last week saying, look, let's line this up somewhere around 110. We need to see this thing stabilize. You have a weekly bat. There's a daily crab pattern. Um, Generally, you want to see this be the low. 105 area. It's, I think, between 105 and 110. I'm not crazy that we printed this bearish HSI, but this thing is 50% of its all-time highs. We're looking for this to be the spot long term within the pullback. The bat pattern's probably better here, but we need a 3-day kind of a thing. You need a 3-day turnaround, 3-day blow up. We just did S&P a little while ago. All right, so we went through the SPY. Please check the stream earlier. I'll do one or two more. Hold on. Hold on one second. All right, great. Take a look at this. Is another big consumer stock, Mondelez, but it's an example of big patterns printing on, here you go, daily time frame. I brought this up last week, and today's a big, another 3-bar continuation. Deep crab. 63 bucks. We talked about that last week. Now it's 67.50. Listen, if I'm looking for some signs of the market, whether we're up or down, this is constructive. This is a major food stock. Look, if this was breaking down and failing that pattern, I would say, all right, something's wrong with the market. But we have a lot of patterns like Coke, like this, other stocks. Heck, even Nike. Nike was something, we were looking at that at like 105, 100, maybe even as high as 110. Yeah, there is 105 is the bat. It just got overshot. So, and, got thrown into a hole down to 90, but coming back, and you look at this on a weekly chart, listen, it's oversold on the weekly. So be aware of that. I don't know why those are, I have to look at that, why that's not printing like that. But look what Nike also did with this most recent test. And it would take a lot for that to break down, but you hold these lows on Nike, that's pretty impressive. I'm trying to see the opportunities here. I really am. I think there's a lot going on, and we got to watch these old economy stocks the same way we're looking at tech and Microsoft and the rest of them. No, nat gas is going to be a while. Look, we know the deal in crude oil. It's still got to do a retest. The stocks are holding up. I'm more interested to see what happens with crypto. I'm interested to see if these techs can pull it out and hold these areas. They really have to. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with something going into January. I don't know if we really want to. I mean, let me leave it here on Microsoft because earnings today. That daily time frame. Yeah, this is what I think of all of them, especially with the announcement today. If this holds true, and that bearish signal is a continuation, then we come back and we immediately retest 310, 312, and that could really have an issue on the rest of the tech sector. So listen, we'll come back here Thursday. We might have to really open up some other possibilities if this does not work out. Just be flexible with it. All right, keep your mind open. These big patterns that have formed, they will take time. Crypto, impressive. You have plenty of time there, though. Okay, but take it as like a warning. And we've been talking about crypto for the last month after not talking about it for a while. And treat this as like a wake-up call. and we'll get more patterns, we'll get more opportunities. Just let this thing work itself out, and then come on back on Thursday. All right, everybody. Great session. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a great one. If you have any questions, or you guys want to get with the software, or you want to join the option presentation on Thursday morning, get on the basic membership page and connect with us on the Discord. Okay, and get with the software. So anybody that bought the software or subscribed in the last month or two, I'm really flexible. You want to come to the seminar, send me a note. We'll get you in. All right. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach me, harmonictrader@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody. Great session. Very, very interesting things to be considering. By Thursday, we will be on it. We will be making some concrete decisions. Until then, have a great one. As always, go get them. Take care.